Good morning, students. Hello, welcome back to Expertise Bio with Yasmin, and this is your Yasmin ma'am. So today we are going to deal with one of the chapter of 8th standard, that is conservation of plants and animals. So in this chapter, let us start with what is conservation and why is conservation needed. First of all, what is conservation? Conservation means to save or preserve something that is very important. See, usually we preserve things which are very important. So same way in this chapter, we are going to study the important natural things that we have got from nature. That is plants, the animals, this wildlife. It's very important to be conserved because their number is decreasing day by day. So in this chapter, we are going to study how to conserve and why to conserve the wildlife that consists of the plants and animals. Okay. Now next, that is what is an environment and its components. This I think you must have studied in your lower classes. Natural environment. What is natural environment? Natural environment is the things around us which has an impact on us. So what all things are there around us? We see there are many things around us which are living as well as non-living things. Okay. So what do we see around us? The living things that we see around us are the plants, different types of plants, different types of animals, the different microorganisms, etc. And what do we see around us? The plants, the different types of plants we see, with different types of animals, and also we see the non-living things around us. That is air. Air is there, water is there, soil, light, etc. So we are surrounded by these things around us, and all these things have impact on us. And these things together they form the natural environment. Okay, it's clear, natural environment. Now let's go to the next component of this chapter, that is natural environment. As I explained you, it consists of the biotic and the abiotic components. And the biotic, the world of living organism. Biotic, the living organisms around us, that is the plants, the animals, the human beings, the microorganisms, all these come under the biotic components because they have life. Having life means biotic. And then next is the abiotic. What do you mean by abiotic? Abiotic is the world of non-living thing around us, the non-living elements around us. That is the air, the water, the soil, the temperature, the objects around us, all these components together make the abiotic components. So the natural environment consists of the biotic and the abiotic components. Okay, and these biotic and abiotic components are connected to each other and are dependent on each other. These biotic and abiotic components are connected to each other and they are dependent on each other. And this part we are going to deal further in the further chapter. That means the air, it also has an impact on us. The water, it also has an impact on us. And even the plants and animals that are connected to each other. These things we are going to see in detail in the later part of the chapter. Living things do not live in isolation. First of all, what do you mean by isolation? You must have heard about this word isolation in this COVID, in this corona time, that those patients or the human being who are affected by corona, they are isolated. Means isolation means what? They are kept in separate places. They can't become in contact with others. So means they can't be in contact with others. They can't interact with each other. But as we all know that we, the human beings, we are social animals. We can't isolate ourselves from others. We always want to be in group. Yes? And as we all know, the biotic and the abiotic components in the environment, the things that surround us, they help each other. Yes, so the living things do not live in isolation. They always like to be in group. All living things, both plants and animals, they need food from their surrounding in order to survive. As we know that biotic and abiotic components, they interact with each other, they depend on each other. So all the animals and we, the human beings, we depend on the plants for our food. Yes, and the plants, they depend on the abiotic components around them for their growth and for their survival. For example, the plants, they need carbon dioxide, they need water, they need sunlight, and all these are abiotic components. Yes, and the plant is a biotic component. So this is the best example which shows the interdependence or connection between the abiotic and the biotic component. And the human being and all the other animals, they depend on the plants for food for their survival. Now, all the living organisms are affected by all biotic and abiotic components around them. As I have told you, yes, we are the biotic components, so we depend upon the things around us, around the abiotic components around us. For example, we also need water to survive. Yes, we need land, we need soil for farming. So all these abiotic components around us, the temperature, when the temperature changes, it affects us. Yes, it's cold nowadays, so it's affecting us. We are wearing woolen clothes and all those things. So the abiotic component is affecting the biotic component. So this is one of the best example how the biotic and abiotic components are connected to each other. They affect each other. They are dependent on each other. Now, few terms you have to know. It's very important that you know few terms. First term that we are going to deal today is ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is the community where the biotic and abiotic elements interact with each other. Yes, ecosystem is a community. It's a thing where the biotic and abiotic components interact with each other. So this is known as the ecosystem. You can give ample examples of ecosystems, yes. And the next is, whereas environment is the area where living organisms live. So you should be able to know the terms properly and differentiate between the terms, how they are different from each other. Ecosystem is the community where the biotic and abiotic elements interact with each other. So I have explained you what is biotic and abiotic component. So ecosystem is the community where these two interact with each other, and whereas environment is the area where living organisms live. This is called the environment. Now, species. The third term that we are going to do is the species. Species is a group of organisms that are similar to each other and can reproduce within the group. So, species is a group of organisms that are similar to each other and they reproduce within the groups to increase their number. So it is called a species. And an ecosystem has many different species of organisms. For example, suppose this is an ecosystem, this place, this land, and in this you have different types of animals. So different animals consist of different species. Dog is one species of animal, cat is one species of animal. So on this land, on this place, there are different. So in this ecosystem, there are many different species. On this terrestrial ecosystem, there are different species of organisms. Yes? So we have studied about the terms, the ecosystem, the environment, the species. Yes? So let us continue further. What is biodiversity? You must have heard about this word. India is a country of diversity which shows lots of diversity. Diversity means what? First of all, before understanding biodiversity, we should understand what is diversity. Diversity means there is varieties. Varieties are called diversity. Okay? And biodiversity means there is varieties in plants and animal life in India. So, let's start with biodiversity. Biodiversity, we know that, we have studied before also, variety of species is found in an ecosystem. Yes? And the variety, so what is the definition of biodiversity, the term biodiversity? You should know this very well. The variety of organisms in a region is referred to as the biodiversity. So, the varieties of plants, the varieties of animals, the varieties of microorganisms that are there in our environment, they form the biodiversity. So that is, let's see it once again. The variety of organisms in a region is referred to as a biodiversity or biological diversity of that region. So it's said that that particular region is showing lots of biodiversity. Okay. Now let's proceed further. the plants. So again, as we have studied many terms like environment, ecosystem, species, there are more terms are there in this chapter that you should be able to understand very well. Okay, now, and these terms are very important in biology and you will be using it in the higher classes also. So these terms has to be frequently, it would be used and you should be able to understand it. Now, the plants found in the region form the flora. As we know, biology is made up of botany and zoology, and botany is the study of plants and zoology is the study of animals, and this together forms the biology. Means what? The living life is made up of both plants and animals, but the plants are termed in other word and the animals are termed in other word that we are going to know now. That is, the plants found in the region form the flora. So plant is known as the flora and the animals form the fauna of the region. So whenever I will say or whenever you will hear flora, you should understand that I am talking about the plants. Okay, and whenever you hear about the fauna, you should be able to understand that we are talking about the animals. Repeatedly, I will not say that flora is plant and the fauna is the animal. So, the plants found in the region form the flora and the animals form the fauna of the region, and they together form the biodiversity of the area. So, in an area, the different types of plants and different types of animals, they together form the biodiversity of that particular area. Now, so flora and fauna is clear to everyone, and these together they form the biodiversity. Yes. So let's proceed further. India has a variety of ecosystems ranging from the tropical rainforest to alpine vegetation and from temperate forest to coastal wetlands. What this means? See, you know the geographical map of India. Yes, north, south, east, where the Himalayas are there, where the coastal areas are there. Yes, so we know this is India is the only country which has diversity in the weather, diversity in the vegetation, diversity in the different type of people, different type of culture. Yes, and they together form the biodiversity. So India has a variety of ecosystems. Ecosystems you know na? So India has a number of ecosystems. It ranges from the tropical rainforest, from the rainforest, the tropical rainforest to alpine vegetation, and from the temperate forest to coastal wetlands. So India is one of the most biodiverse countries of the world. So India is the best example which shows the ample of biodiversity in the whole world. So we have understood, children, what is biodiversity. So it's very important that plants and animals, everything around us, the biotic, abiotic components are connected and interconnected. Yes. So now in the next thing we are going to study is the importance of biodiversity. Why biodiversity is important? Why it's famous that India is the most biodiverse country in this whole world. Okay, now first point that comes under the importance of biodiversity is in an ecosystem, living organisms depend on one another for survival. In ecosystem, we have studied before that what is an ecosystem. And in ecosystem, the biotic and abiotic components are there, and we have studied it how they are connected to each other and how they depend on each other. Yes, as we know that we human beings, we depend on plants for food. The plants, they depend on soil for its survival. So it goes in that order. The biotic and abiotic component in an ecosystem, they are connected to each other and they are very much dependent on each other for their survival. The next point, that is importance of biodiversity, is every organism is linked to many other organisms through food webs. In the lower classes, you must have studied about the food chain and the food web. What is a food chain? Food chain is an order in which the flow of energy or flow of food takes place. Yes, and the main source of energy is sun, and always a food chain starts with a plant. We know these things. And what is a food web? Many food chains, they are interconnected to each other like a web. So this is known as food web. So Every organism is linked to many other organisms through food webs. So in an ecosystem or in a biodiversity, there is many food webs, they are connected to each other, and this is very important for the proper functioning of an ecosystem. Third point is animals depend on plants for food and shelter. Animals depend on plants for food and shelter. Everyone knows this. There are lots of animals, wild animals especially. Their house is the forest only. Their house is the plants, the diversity in the plants where they stay. They get food to eat. So animals depend on plants for wild food and shelter. And the next is, fourth point is, plants depend on animals for pollination, reproduction and seed dispersal. So these points show that in the biodiversity, as there are many different plants and animals, why it is important for ecosystem, for environment to work properly. Plants depend on animals for pollination. You have studied about pollination in the lower classes, that is in 6th standard. What is pollination? You know everything, everyone knows. Yes. So plants depend on animals for pollination. For pollination to take place, we have studied in the structure of flower and how the pollination takes place. The insects and all these things, they bring about the pollination. They are important for pollination, and they also help in reproduction and the seed dispersal, the movement of seeds from one place to another. All these things takes place with the help of animals. Now, next is, fungi and bacteria decompose other organisms to add nutrients to the soil, and plants depend on these nutrients to grow. See, we know that our environment is made up of producers, the consumers, the decomposers. So what are the producers? Producers are the plants who produce food for everything, who prepare food for everyone by taking the carbon dioxide from the air, by taking water, etc. Yes, and the next group is the consumers. We are the consumers. Consumers, what they do? They depend on the plants for their food. They consume the food that is prepared by the producers or the autotrophs. And the consumers are again differentiated into primary consumers, tertiary consumers. Okay. Now, next is the decomposers. What the decomposers do? Decomposers, they have a very important role. They have very important role to play. What they do? They decompose. When the plants and the animals, when they die, when they decay, they have to be decomposed and broken down into simple fragments so that they can be reused. Again they enter into the soil, and from the soil, these nutrients, they are taken by the plants. So this way, all of them, they are interconnected. So fungi and the bacteria, they decompose other organisms. They decompose other organisms means what? They decompose the plants, they decompose the animals when they die to add nutrients to the soil. We have taken the nutrients from the soil, the plants and animals, and the decomposers, what they are doing? They are adding these nutrients back to the soil. So the nutrient cycle is continued. And the plants, they depend on these nutrients to grow. So when these nutrients are added to the soil, again they are used by the plants, and this way the nutrients are in a proper cycle. They are reused again and again. So next, an ecosystem is a well-balanced system in which each organism has an important role. So in an ecosystem, both there are producers, consumers, the decomposers. All three of them, they have a very important role, and the ecosystem won't work properly if any one of them is missing. If you think that the decomposers are not there, the nutrients won't be added again to the soil, so the plants won't survive. So if the plants are not growing, the plants are not surviving, we won't be able to get anything from the soil, so everything will get finished. So for the ecosystem to be well balanced, has to be well balanced so that all the organisms, they have an important role in an ecosystem. Okay. So children, we have studied about the 6 points of importance of biodiversity. So let's go to the next point, that is the 7th point. That is, loss of even a few organisms affects the balance and harms the ecosystem. as we have studied that ecosystem is made up of many components, many biotic and abiotic component, and for the ecosystem to be working properly, all these components are very important and all these components should be in balance. So loss of even a few organisms, you can't, the environment or the ecosystem can't afford to waste or to lose any of the organism, as it will affect the balance and harm our ecosystem. And the next point of importance is, thus biodiversity is very important for the sustenance of an ecosystem. What do you mean by sustenance? For the ecosystem to survive, for ecosystem to sustain, it's very, very important that biodiversity should be properly maintained. Biodiversity is important for the sustenance of an ecosystem. And as we have studied before, the flora and the fauna. What is flora? That is the plants, and the fauna, that is the animals. They are very important renewable natural resources. They are the natural resources. The plants and the animals, the flora and the fauna, they are the natural resources. So it has to be managed for the ecosystem to work properly, for the environment to work properly. It's very important that the flora and the fauna of that particular area should be well controlled or well managed or well maintained. And so the chapter, that is conservation of plants and animals, so we are going to study that why the conservation of these plants and animals are important. And in the later part of the video, we are going to study, in the later part of the lesson, we are going to study about how there are the different ways of conserving the flora and fauna of the environment and why it is so important, the importance of conservation. Okay, now the later part we'll enjoy in the next video. Thank you.